How much of a contribution, obviously big lender, 5th biggest in the UK, how much of a contribution are you expecting them to make?
Well, I always think it's you know, until now, the only place that HSBC current account customers have been able to get mortgages from HSBC is in the branch. Now we can offer that in our branches. They've got a 10 to 12% current account market share, depending on which stats you use. So if they were to get their market share of current accounts, I think they'd be doing pretty well. I think also that our guys will need to learn and understand what they're looking for. They are slightly different from other lenders. You know, you have to remember that, you know, in the 90s, Halifax was getting ready to pay proc fees. You know, it's a different game, and they're now sort of looking at it and learning about what brokers want and how they want to be spoken to, and underwriting and processing and turnaround times and service level agreements, and that's our side. And then from our side into to them, we're learning about what they expect, what their applicant quality is, what they're looking for. So it'll take some time, but you know, there's no reason why they shouldn't get to that sort of percentage in time. Okay. But I think it's 6 to 9 months away, really. Okay,
thanks for that, Nigel. What approach is HSBC taking over proc fees in terms of matching the market? I've got to ask.
Yeah, I'm not going to tell you what our proc fee is. Or what I will say, though, is that both parties were quite happy. We negotiated, as you would expect. We mutually agreed the procuration fee. We're very happy with that. HSBC quite happy with that. We've got an agreement, in a very similar agreement that we've got for other lenders in terms of a partnership agreement, and we're very confident and comfortable with where we've got to. I think they've been very sensible about it. I think what's interesting, if you to take it at a wider level, what's interesting is they've got options that other lenders don't have. If you've got a legacy system on proc fees, you know, you're pretty hidebound by your systems. Whereas, you know, they'll be deploying a system, so they could do all sorts of things. You know, they could link it to product profitability, they could link it to trail commission, they could do all sorts, but that's not for me, that's for HSBC to decide. But what's really interesting, if they do roll out further to networks and clubs, they could do all sorts of, they could, if they wanted to. Also, equally, it's going to be quickest to follow the market.
Okay, so the mortgage market can be quite an emotional place. Do you think HSBC is going to have to overcome a bit of market jealousy in terms of countrywide?
No. I mean, the strength of any lender or partnership is always in its products, and HSBC delivers that in spades. Some of their products are fantastic. I mean, particularly lower LTV remortgage, which is not a massive strength of an estate agency distributor and actually plays into other parts of the broker market. So I actually think that when people understand what their product range is, where they're up to, they'll see HSBC as a really, really good option and a really good choice. And that's certainly how we're finding them as a partner. You know, I would expect them, as I've said earlier, to push into other estate agency, perhaps other large DAs who've got control of their own people. So, you know, I don't see that as an issue. They've now launched into the broker space. We're proud and quite privileged that they chose us first, but that's all.
Okay, and how much impact do you think? Obviously, huge lender. Hopefully they will be very welcome, they'll find their place in time, but how much impact do you think they're actually going to have in the next 12 months and beyond?
Well, I mean, I'd take it further than that. If you look at 5 years, there is absolutely no reason why they shouldn't be the 5th largest intermediary lender. I mean, that's their capital position, their strength, their global position across the world. There's no reason why they shouldn't be there. Now, how quickly they get to that is going to be down to what are their priorities. I mean, one of the great interesting things about them is that they're going to have to invest in some technology to get to where they want to get to, and it will be absolutely down to John and Pete as to when and how they prioritise that. It seems to me that a lot of the questions today will be better at HSBC. We're very fortunate. We're the first broker, quite happy to speak for the broker market. We're intensely privileged to have HSBC as our lending partner, and we're really keen for other people to get that and them to fulfil where I think they're going to be very strong over time.
Fantastic. Thanks very much for coming in, Nigel. Really appreciate your time today. Hopefully we will get HSBC in sometime very soon. And thanks very much for watching on Mortgage Solutions Television.